Hello and welcome to Mindset Mondays with DTK. This is episode number 174 in an ongoing series of live broadcasts that I've created for folks who've already figured it out, that the best way to get better at doing what you do is to get better at being who you are at your core. And most of you heard me describe it before. I look at the coaching work. I look at the work of becoming better at being what you be. The way Michelangelo talked about sculpture. When asked how he created such exquisite figures, how he carved such exquisite figures, his answer was, I don't. I merely free them from the stone. So the work that we do is clearing away the clutter of all the things that aren't you, aren't true, aren't real, and coming to the place of living, loving, and leading from there. So if you will, take just a moment. Two requests. One is click share just beneath this video and invite your friends, your colleagues, your community to join the conversation. The more voices we have, the richer the chat. Also, if you will, I'm super curious. Where are you dialing in from or connecting in from? Where are you joining in from? Go ahead and add into the comments, whether you're on LinkedIn, whether you're on YouTube, or whether you're on Facebook. Let me know where you're here from. I've been fascinated to see over the years how many folks are dialed in from so many different continents. Whew. Wow. So, interesting weekend. Had a chance to take some time completely off. And I mean, it was Father's Day, of course. So, and after watching In the Heights as a family last night, and my wife earworming me this morning with a song from Les Mis, One Fine Day, I'm finding that I am completely earwormed by Broadway musicals. So if I break into song, I apologize in advance. The idea that I want to play with today is the idea of where mastery fits in. You know, there are 4 levels of learning. And one time I will actually remember when I choose to talk about this, who in God's name it is who gets credit for this model. And I swear one day I will. But the 4 levels of learning, as discussed, are: first is unconscious incompetence, where you don't know what it is that you don't know. All right. Then there's conscious incompetence, which is super uncomfortable place to be, because your conscious incompetence is you are aware of what it is that you don't know. Think about the first time at age 14 or 15 you got plopped behind the wheel of a car. You were instantly pretty conscious of your incompetence. Next layer is the conscious competence. You know what you're good at. You know what you know. And still taking the idea of driving, it's being able to get from where you're going to anywhere you want to go and still being aware of turn signal, clutch, pedal, steering wheel, mirror. So again, your conscious competence, you're aware of what you're good at. Then there's unconscious competence. You no longer have to think about what you're doing. It's completely unconscious. You get out of the car when you've gotten to the office and realize, yeah, you couldn't tell anybody what trip you took, what direction you went, how you got there, or what you encountered. You're completely unconscious to your abilities. Well, mastery doesn't exist there. Mastery is something above and beyond that, and that's part of what we're going to play with. And I'm fascinated by this idea and seeing where it's coming in from. And good morning, Tom and Stephanie. I'm glad to have you here. Look, earlier this week I led a workshop, and Rusty Gaillard is an amazing coach and a new connection and colleague of mine out in Palo Alto area. First time he and I had co-created together, and first time we had co-led together. And it was like butter. It went completely smoothly, and loved the chance to get to play with him. And thankfully, the people that attended that workshop loved it as well. The most interesting bit for me was I caught myself in the moment watching Rusty's extraordinary ability to capture what had gone on in the conversation in the room, and then reflect it back in a way that really lifted out the ability to surface even deeper insight. Now, I'm pretty damn amazing at that in a one-to-one environment, and I'm pretty good in a group. And I noticed that he was extraordinary. And it's something that he sees as second nature, totally ordinary to him. And that's where this week's quote comes in. What is ordinary to you is amazing to others. What is ordinary to you is amazing to others. What is in his unconscious competence and so ordinary to him, that still lives in the conscious competent stage for me, and I saw it as extraordinary. And of course I had to shake myself back to present and being present to what going on in the room, but so much of what others see as my magic, what's so extraordinary to them, is so ordinary, easy, effortless to me. Sometimes even so much that I discount it or discredit it. And I almost overlook it. So the first question to really play with is, where are the places in your world where what you do is magic? What seems so ordinary to you can be seen as completely amazing to others. Where are you overlooking yours? But while you're playing with that, let me take this back to those 4 levels of learning. Because here's where mastery lives. When you can take what it is that you have in your unconscious competence, when you can take what it is that is just so natural to you, it's in your zone of genius, you are so fluid and easeful and effortless with it. And you can unpack it and take it apart and understand how it is that you do it, so much so that you can teach it to others. That's when learning reaches that mastery stage, the 5th level of, if you will, that 4-level learning model. What's amazing is how rarely we ever do that, how rarely we take what our gifts are and break it down to a point where we can teach it. I attended a presentation with Martin Seligman yesterday. Now, here's how I know Martin Seligman. I know him through abnormal psychology. He was my professor for for Psych 172 back in the mid-Reagan, somewhere in the 1986. Martin Seligman is now the father of positive psychology. His whole world changed as he grew and changed. And it's so interesting. I watch, when I was in college, the way I learned psychology was, these are the tenets you need to learn, this is the structure you need to go through, and it moved us up through the levels of learning. What I love about positive psychology, and there are lots of conversations about whether people feel that is people have theories about how valid that work is. That we're not getting into that there. What's extraordinary about positive psychology is that it's something that one can move towards mastery in. Because instead of teaching you the rote steps that one learns as one goes through taking in the knowledge of psychology, Sherry, I don't know if you and I took it together, but we were there at the same time. The idea of positive psychology is it's a different way of being. It's learning how one grows into that mastery. Look at it like chess, a moment to learn, a lifetime to master. And so it's designed for mastery in a different way. I look at my university education as a form of hazing. I learned it this way, so you'll learn it this way. As opposed to teaching the structure of something and you learning to find your own mastery of it, your own understanding of it, immersing in it instead. And that's what's so beautiful about this whole, for me, this whole playground, is one truly reaches mastery only once one can break down one's own magic, unpack it, unpack that extraordinary unconscious competence and teach it to another, but not teach it to another by taking them through the rote steps so that they can learn it. My rabbi told me when I was a kid, it wasn't his job to teach me or to make me a Jew. It was his job to teach me what I learned to find my own sense of Judaism. It's a different way of being. What is extraordinary to you is amazing to others. So I go back to this. Where is mastery waiting for you? What is it that you have a chance to unpack and relate? What is it that you have a chance to deepen your relationship with merely by the unpacking? Tom, I'm glad you're here, because with Upsight, with the things that you have been able through your journey to do, to unlock, where is there the opportunity to even deepen your relationship with that mastery by unpacking it and teaching it to others? Mary Virginia, as you've launched into this career, where's the chance as you find your own mastery to unpack it and teach it to others? That's the playground I want to invite you all into this week, is where is the mastery waiting for you? Where is your mastery waiting for you? And who are those around you that you'll be bringing that to? Whoa. Who are the people around you for which your extraordinariness, what seems so ordinary to you, is amazing to them, and they're merely waiting to soak it up? What is ordinary to you is amazing to others. Thank you for joining in this morning and for diving into this conversation. Mary Virginia, that's perfect. You've got an intern waiting to sponge all this in this summer. So for this week, where is mastery waiting for you? What is it that you will choose to dive into? What is it that seems so ordinary for you that you will choose to unpack and bring to the world around you? Have a phenomenal week. I look forward to seeing you here again next week. Be well.